And on a bright, clear afternoon, we on the Big Match Live are delighted to be paying our first visit to Kenilworth Road, Luton. Hello, good afternoon to you. We're just a few moments away from the kick-off now. Luton against Manchester United, two teams who both feel they're still in with a good chance of the Cannon League Championship. United, they seem to have been chasing Liverpool for ages, but now they find themselves in fourth spot. And Luton feel they're still in with a great chance, because if they beat United today, they've got Liverpool here on Saturday. With me, I'm delighted to have Jimmy Greaves, as always. And nice to say hello to Graham Souness, the Liverpool captain. And Graham, first of all, perhaps you better just explain, you haven't come here totally unshaven, have you?
No, don't use that. My daughter's giving me a hard time about it. So I thought, while I've been out, I'll give the face a rest, really. Try
and while you've been out with the injury, there's good news about that injury, particularly with the game at Walsall on Tuesday.
Well, I've trained the last few days, Jim, and I'm hoping that I can train well tomorrow and well on Tuesday, and hopefully be available for selection on a game Tuesday night. Still is important.
I'm sure all Liverpool fans will be pleased about that. Now, just you've played against both these teams. Just sum up the match for us from your point of view.
Well, it's going to be a very difficult game. I think the pitch is going to cut up through the middle. Very difficult game to get the ball flowing. I think Brian Robson, who we were talking earlier, is going to push forward a lot today and maybe hope to catch Luton square a bit. He does that very well. It's going to be a very close game, I think. But in saying that, I think Luton are capable of scoring goals and also capable of conceding them as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel United have blown their chance a little bit because Liverpool have been faltering?
No, we've been faltering, that's true to say, but everyone else has been, except Notts Forest at the moment, so it's still wide open. Anything can happen.
Lovely. OK, we look forward to hearing from you both at half-time, but now I'm going to hand you over to your match commentator, Brian Moore, who as always has with him Ian St John. Brian, it's all yours.
Thank you, Jim. As you say, a beautiful afternoon. Let's take a check on the teams then. The big news for Luton is that Ricky Hill, who had some troublesome leg injury, has been past fit. He's missed the last 4 games. So important, of course, in their midfield, teaming up there with Brian Horton and Frank Bunn, and it'll be good to see the work of Paul Walsh and Brian Steen up front. Before we come to the Manchester United team, let's go down to the trackside and join Martin Tyler.
Ron, obviously with the First Division being now such an open race, this match of paramount importance for Manchester United.
Very much so. We've got a good away record, but there's a fair amount of draws sprinkled in that, and it would be very important to us if we could grab an away win today, particularly in view of what happened yesterday. How
difficult will that be here, do you think?
Always difficult here. They're a bright side, they attack, they've got people capable of scoring goals. But we're happy the way we play away from home.
David Pleat, the Luton manager, you've had a few days away in the sunshine, David.
Yeah, we had a couple of days. It was a good break for the lads, and we had a couple of wins, so we're in good mood.
And Luton have never beaten Manchester United in a league match, in a First Division match.
It's always the first time, Martin.
Optimistic?
Oh yeah, we're optimistic. The lads are in good spirits. You know, it's a good game to play against. It's great to play against Manchester United at Luton. It's an achievement for the club, and to win it's even better.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now let's go back to Brian Moore.
David Pleat of Luton and Ron Atkinson of Manchester United. The Manchester United team then, they've got Remy Moses back after a groin strain, and Arnold Buren also returns after missing the midweek game at Birmingham. That was drawn, and 19-year-old Graham Hogg keeps his place at the centre of the defence. And the referee today, it's Alan Robinson of Waterlooville. You may remember he did such a good job in the first live league match on television, the Spurs-Forest game back in October. Ricky Hill, a worrying leg injury, not to be too technical. He's had some calcification around the hamstring, which caused him a lot of pain, but an injection on Friday was aimed to disperse that problem. He trained this morning with the rest of the Luton players and said he now feels fine. Arnold Buren back for Manchester United, scored, in fact, with a penalty when the sides met up at Old Trafford earlier this season when United won 2-0, and then had a second penalty, which Liz Seeley saved, and Arthur Alberston finished it off. So it's going to be Luton Town in the white strip against Manchester United in red with black shorts. And away go Luton then, attacking the goal to our left. They've won only one of their last 8, Luton. They're looking for something. In fact, they haven't played here at Kenilworth Road for almost a month. United are really the draw specialists. 6 draws in their last 9 games. And Ron Atkinson saying that he feels they must have blown at least 10 points in this championship when they've taken leads in games and have been pulled back. Well, certainly with Liverpool winning yesterday, and with Nottingham Forest having a notable victory at Queen's Park Rangers yesterday, and West Ham also winning, it does put that little extra bit of pressure on United to do something here. Here's Moses, now Wilkins, Duxbury. And a nice little back heel by Stapleton, and the flag was up for a free kick, the foul by Frank Bunn on Mick Duxbury, and a free kick to Manchester United. They've played 4 times since Luton came back to the First Division at the start of last season. United have won 3 and drawn 1. Wilkins with the free kick, floated in, and knocked away by Stevens to Muren. It's a tight little ground, this, always with a good atmosphere, and Luton are often to dislodge here. That was a good break by Walsh, but the pass to Steen didn't match it. Brian Steen with Paul Walsh, quite a tremendous attacking duo. There's been so much publicity on Walsh, but I know that David Pleat regards Steen as just as valuable a little jewel there in his attack. Donkey, Wilkins, Muren. Both sides who love to get people forward, and the header back. Elliott looked for a moment as though it might fall for United until Brian Horton came in. Walsh, long-range shot, well taken from 30-odd yards, fairly nicely behind it. It's superbly struck by young Paul Walsh, just 21 years old. Free kick to Manchester United. Still a feel of the game about it, this one, Ian.
Well, it certainly has, Brian, and I think one of the good duels to look out for is the Horton-Robson one in midfield, you know, where Brian Robson will be looking to push up behind the strikers, and Horton's job will be to make sure he doesn't get the ball.
Moses releasing Wilkins. That should be Sealy's ball. Flag was up, it'll be a goal kick. With a header. Good jump by Hogg. Whiteside. In quickly was Paul Elliott. And Alveston gets it back. Stapleton, Robson, Muren, lovely left foot, and Elliott. And Stapleton's right in there. Moses looking for a chance to dig one in himself, and Stevens got it away, and for a moment Luton were in a bit of trouble. Mitchell Thomas. There's Thomas again. Trying to release Steen, but Duxbury is quick. Been given to Luton, which Brian Horton will take. Aylot's the big man there they might be aiming for. In the end, it was Moran who got it away. Bunn hitting one on the volley. Goal kick to Manchester United. Ron Atkinson on the Manchester United bench with Mick Brown.
I think there's a note of caution, Brian, with the selection today at Manchester United that the big Ack was picked, because he's left out the winger Arthur Graham, and really, you know, United have built the season on having a wide player, and he's gone out for 4 midfield players, only 2 up front, so for the first time maybe he's feeling that he's got to tighten things up, especially away from home.
Inside, getting it across well. Paul Elliott getting it away. Duxbury coming in well. They're looking really sprightly, United, but charged down by Horton. From a Ray Wilkins shot. Stapleton. United's throw. Thomas. Walsh. In for Horton, with Stevens away on the right. It's Ricky Hill's header, but Alveston hooking it away. Wilkins. Stapleton coming a little deep. Robson. Muren with Alveston outside him. Challenging by Donachie. David Pleat, David Coates alongside him. And Seeley grabbing that almost nonchalantly off the head of Brian Robson. Alveston finding Moses. And a good ball there with Stapleton chasing, but Elliott also showing his speed, and there must have been just a little nudge into the back of Paul Elliott. We talk of Manchester United's faltering challenge at the top of the First Division, but in point of fact they've lost only one of their last 14 league games. It is a fact that they have drawn so many, and of course a drawn game means you lose 2 points, and that's really what's put them a little way behind Liverpool at the moment. But overall their form has been pretty steady, but as Ron Atkinson himself says, we've become one of the most hospitable clubs in terms of giving away a lead. Horton. Stevens. Donachie there first. Alveston in for Steen. Wilkins, Moran, and straight to Thomas. Walsh, touch for Steen. United backpedaling now. But in the end, Alveston coming away with it, as Steen and Aylott were not on the same wavelength. Muren. It's right side. Thomas to Horton, the captain. The fall for Frank Bunn. Now a few white shirts are up for Luton. A few red are getting back though. And Bunn just lacked that last little yard of pace when he looked as though he got himself clear. It wasn't a bad effort. Wilkins. Robson. Space for Whiteside, and Robson has gone on. Pitch beginning to cut up a little bit. It'll be quite heavy. Moses, the ball not running all that well. And Stapleton in there, Whiteside in there. In the end, it'll come to Hill, finding Bunn, forced into an error by the speed of Moses' tackle. Duxbury. Moses, Duxbury again. And a corner. Off Mitchell Thomas. Short one for Murin. Question again, and Ricky Hill not getting it away all that well, but it falls for Steen and now for Walsh. Alveston. Young Graham Hogg, 19-year-old Scott. And I think Donachie was half looking for Seeley to come, but the clearance was okay in the end, and a free kick makes it even better. Brian Robson kicking the ball away there, but I think the referee felt that it wasn't, in terms of anger or dissent, maybe just a little clumsy, but a quiet word nonetheless. Thomas. Aylott. The strength to hold off Moses, and the skill to find Steen. Bunn picking out Stevens, played on for Hill. And here come United, with Stapleton and Robson ahead of him. Away on the left is Muir. Thomas. And Elliott away. Now for Alveston again. Territorially, United having much the better of it in this opening quarter of an hour. If you've just joined us, about 12 minutes gone. And Whiteside offside. Luton Town 0, Manchester United 0. Ian St John?
Well, United having the 4 men in midfield ran against the 3 of Luton Town. Obviously, they're getting a little bit more ball at this. So as you were saying, they are dominating this opening sort of 15 minutes of the game. Not an awful lot happening from either side.
Bunn. Finding Stevens. And now Wilkins. Moses. Duxbury. Oh, good run. And not really challenged. Well, again, a few pointing fingers in that Luton penalty area. And Duxbury, a long, jinking, almost irresistible run there. Although, in fairness, there weren't many challenges. In fact, as you can see, not one real challenge before he got the shot in. Good run by Duxbury there, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of for United, obviously, to try and get the fullbacks forward, and both players do that very well, Brian. And he's a smashing player, I think, Mick Duxbury. You know, he's played at centre-half as well this year for United, and did a good job, you know, when McQueen was out, when Ann was out. And he's come in and did well at centre-back. But as a fullback, I think they get a little bit more out, you know.
Well, it's a fullback on the other side. Kirk Stevens with the throw for Luton now. Walsh. Horton finding Thomas. Elliott. Horton. Stevens. Elliott. And picking his way out of it was Murin. The foul on the back of Whiteside. His fellow Irishman, Mal Donaghy, gives a free kick to Manchester United. Alveston with the kick. Whiteside first to show. Elliott. Oh, show a little too much coolness then. And a great save by Seeley from Stapleton. after the defence, and young Paul Elliott was just a little too long in getting the ball away. In came Robson, there was the shot, and a really excellent save. So another corner for United. Muren with it towards the near post. It was Bunn's header. It'll be another corner. Seeley will have to punch this one away, which he does. Doesn't get a lot of ground on it. Oh, and Stevens miskicked as well. And they're making one or two mistakes in that Luton defence that might well be punished, Ian.
Well, Luton Town play an awful lot of football, Brian, and they play it from the back as well. There's so many times in games that I've watched them whereby the defenders are taking time at the ball in their own box and they're playing little balls to each other, and they take chances probably that no other team would take, and at times, of course, they've got punished for them, and they always got punished there for that shot by Stapleton. A great save by Seeley.
Jump again by Stapleton. Thomas. Watkins. Muren. Again, Augustin available away on that far touchline. Wilkins. And again, Wilkins. Right side trying to get in. And Elliott back to Seeley.
Just what I was saying, Brian, there, you know, normally the left back of any other team would have got it and knocked it down the touchline, but they tell them to play it and they take some chances.
Stevens. They just can't get going coming forward though, Luton, can they? And yet they're a side that when we've seen them this season a number of times, which we have, Ian, they do love to attack and they can put some good attacking moves together.
They're a very exciting team, Brian. You know, they have exciting forwards, but you've got to get the ball to them, give them a decent supply, and at the moment a lot of the balls getting played forward are rather aimless, and they're just going through to the goalkeeper. But there's a strong wind blowing down the pitch, and as you know, the slope here tends to take the ball away, and it's probably better playing up the hill.
Stevens offside against Aylott. Not much doubt about it. Free kick to Manchester United. I think it's 3 times they've been live on television this season. They must quite enjoy it. They've won 1 and they've drawn 2. Robson. Deflected, and Thomas will get it away. As far as Steen. Laid in for Hill, and then for Bunn. Back for Hill. Nice skill there by Luton. And then the flick on comes to nothing, straight to Arthur Augustin, and now for Muren. Walsh couldn't quite pick it away from Moses. Here's Graham Hogg. Duxbury. Wilkins again, but Little Hill just flicking it clear, and now Walsh. He deliberated too long and allowed Robson to get in, but they've still got possession now with Aylott. Here's Stevens coming up from the back. Steen up well, but couldn't direct it down for Aylott. Thomas. Getting a bit of wind in their sails at the moment. Luton, 1 or 2 attacking moves beginning to develop. Aylott, Walsh, and a goal kick.
Well, the crowd have livened them up a little bit there, Brian. You know, I think the crowd thought the team had gone to sleep because it's Sunday afternoon, but they've got behind them in the last few minutes, and the players at least responding. A little bit of pressure now being applied, and trying to put the screw in Manchester United. I'd like to see the ball get up to Walsh a little bit more because he's such a good little player, such a quick player in the box, and I think if he got a supply of the ball in there, we could see some damage.
Muren. Robson. Right side up, and Stapleton on the far side. crossing as well. This is Moses being chased by Thomas. And a goal kick. Mitchell Thomas. He's a local Luton boy and a 6-footer. And more out of this, and a free kick given to Luton. Now this could be interesting. It's no more than a couple of yards outside the Manchester United penalty area, 3 or 4 yards maybe. And the referee's taking it back. Let's make it 5. Well, Horton and Steen, and in fact they were practicing free kicks from this sort of area this morning. Horton plays it short for Steen to run on and try, and he's tried variation this time, and that didn't work either. It's usually David Moss who comes in for those, but David's had a nasty stomach injury, and happy to say that it looks as though he might be back and playing in a couple of weeks.
You know, Brian, you can practice free kicks, you know, all morning, all afternoon, and come to Saturday, the ball can just run bobble up as you take a swing at it, and it ends up over the stands, and everybody's embarrassed about it.
Stevens in quickly, warming to their task a little bit now, Luton. Getting it away to Robson. Elliott, a simple interception. Aylott, finding Hill. That's a good bit of play there, finding Buck. And turn on this left-hand side is Steen. Loves to play out wide. And he cracked that one off Warren for a Luton corner. The first Luton corner of the game. The Luton crowd, as you can hear at home, have certainly got behind their team now. Still 0-0. Steen with the corner. But not a particularly good one, easy for Duxbury. Thomas up well. Duxbury away. Oh, up on the television gantry, but not quite enough for you to give it a nudge back, Ian. Ian St John, I should be saying, has already had a penalty prize competition out on the pitch as a part of the pre-match entertainment with Jimmy Greaves. I won't give away the result because I think that's in on the ball next week, isn't it, Steve?
Yes, I know on the ball, Brian, and may I say my knees are stiffening up at the moment sitting up here.
With Gordon Banks in goal, which was very good to see.
Oh, lovely to see Banksy, yeah, smashing.
So a throw then for Luton, which Mitchell Thomas will take. Brian Horton. And Bailey called and had to come quickly.
I gather Bobby Robson's here today, Brian. Obviously got 1 or 2 players in mind, had to have a look at it.
Nice little touch by Steen, and a nice little touch there by Aylott, but Hill, and a bad touch there by Albiston, and Hill shot straight at Gary Bailey. But 2 lovely touches by Luton, and the first glimmer of a mistake in defence by Manchester United, and that opened up something. There was Albiston's marginal mistake, and it allowed Hill to go on, but Bailey's angle was perfect. Mistake by the number 3, it must be catching. The throw for... Oh, it's come for Luton. It must be the slip off a United player. And away go Luton. They've looked a much better proposition in the last 5 minutes or so. Ooh, lovely little touch again by Aylott. Bunn. And things are beginning to run for them. What's more, it's Walsh now, running at United's defence. Aylott. Steen, good jumper for the ball is Brian Steen. He's not the biggest of lads. Elliott, almost putting Mitchell Thomas in trouble, but Thomas got out of it well. Elliott again. Bunn. Thomas. Bunn again. And things are really going for them takes it up. Moran half stops him. And Wilkins in the end away, but a free kick. A foul by Paul Elliott.
He's impressed me this season, Paul Elliott. Brian, the games I've watched him play, you know, for a youngster, he's in his first sort of season in the First Division. I think he's come on a ton.
Good turn by Whiteside, and a good challenge by Stevens. Now Hill, play on, said the referee. No problem there for Ricky Hill. Stevens. And Warren safely back to Gary Bailey. This could be trouble for Robson. Just wide. Well, look at Les Seeley there. He knows the mistake was a glaring one in that Luton defence.
I think it was Mitchell Thomas again there, Brian. Yes, it was. You know, he miscontrolled it. It ran lovely there for Robson. It was a very good chance for United. Mind you, Brian Horton's tackle was there. You know, Horton was making sure he never got a clean kick.
As you say, quite a battle there between Horton and Robson in the midfield. Could be a thing that turns this whole game. Or it might be Walsh who turns it. Finding Bunn, and it comes off Kevin Moran. Overston. Well, after a first quarter of an hour that was one-sided almost to the point of embarrassment, Luton have come striking back. But with 27 minutes, we're still awaiting the first goal. If you just joined us, Luton 0, Manchester United 0. Aylott. Stevens. Stevens again. And now Robson. Stapleton just onside, but Thomas. Hill couldn't quite get a touch to nick it on for Steen. It's with Muren. Wilkins. Outside. Muren. Bit of space here for Duxbury. And Horton's header. Not getting much ground for Luton. Moses. Robson was trying to come in late on that header, but held up on the way by a Luton defender. And we're back to the first quarter of an hour again, with United dominating and pressing all the while. A dummy that time by Robson. Made back for Remy Moses by Norman Whiteside. A throw to Manchester United. Wilkins quickly on the scene. And the ball is still in play, but in the end, a foul by Whiteside, a free kick to Luton Town.
The Irishmen having a tussle between themselves there, Brian. He's a rough handful, this young Whiteside. You know, he battles well for the ball. I think everyone would admit that he's not got the greatest pace in the game, but he's definitely had to knock off the ball.
Well, he won't go back 10 yards either. And I think Mal Donaghy, the man who's marking him, is a bit of a competitor as well.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the two Irishmen will be hammer and tongs all the way through.
Muren, Robson, challenged fairly though by Brian Horton. Now Ray Wilkins. Looked to be out of play, it was. A throw for Luton. United won here in the Cup last season, 2-0, and in the league drew 1-1. Walsh. A little thick there for Steen, and Steen just getting it as well. No penalty, although they looked pretty hard, did the linesman and the referee, but nothing was given. Thomas now. Does Luton keep up this pressure? Steen with a backward header, beautifully saved by Gary Bailey. Good work here by Steen.
Yes, it was, Brian. Just got a nice little back flick on it there with his head, just topped it on, and good save by Gary Bailey. But Luton like to attack down the left. When David Moss plays, of course, he plays wide on the left there and takes a lot of ball and gets good crosses in from that side, Brian. So, you know, they know what to expect, Luton, when the ball goes out there. You know, I think they play it that way.
Away. It's free. Horton. Stevens will put it back. Hogg. Horton. Not. It's a good ball by Horton in for Hill. For Aylott, now for Walsh. And all they cry, but nothing doing, says the referee. Meantime, Walsh is having a battle with Robson, which he won, and then got a corner off Arthur Alberston. So Brian Steen with the corner. And again, not a very good one, but Aylott took possession for all that, and it'll be a goal kick.
That's what we call in a game good bad ones, Brian. You know, when you knock the ball in and it doesn't go where you intend it to go, you confuse everybody because the defenders are not expecting that either. And sometimes it turns out you get a goal from it.
So that's a good bad one.
That's what we call a good bad one.
Elliott. Here and again. And Stapleton offside. On the far right of the picture there on the Luton bench, the substitute Reddy Antich. For Hill, touch for Aylott. One is waiting. Thomas ever ready to come forward. And Walsh, for a moment, I thought he might get in on the goal side of Graham Hogg. But Bailey saw it too. Stapleton. Side. Moses. Extra. We talked about the fullbacks that get forward, but do you notice how often and how quickly Brian Robson gets forward as soon as United get possession, Matthew?
Well, that's the idea, you know, that he's the man that's got a free role there in midfield to get forward and support his two strikers, and he's done it, a couple of times, and once we're really, you know, he might have scored. It's a good ploy, you know, and he's an expert at it because he's got a good football brain, Brian Robson, and he can read the right time to make the run.
Well, his pass then was a simple one from Europe. Stevens. Robson on possession and kept it in and gets it back from Arnold Muren. And a chance for the little cross in towards Stapleton. An important header away that time by Donaghy for Luton. Hill playing about on the edge of the box again. That's Luton style, as Ian St John was saying. And they got away with it again. I know David Pleat's a manager who loves his side to play football in all areas of the field. Oh, Struggle for possession there. Where is it ever going to come out? Well, the crowd enjoyed that. Right under the stand here. A little bit of skirmishing, which ends as a throw for Luton, and possession now for Brian Hook. Elliott. Bunn. Robson taking possession for United. Still 0-0 with 10 minutes of the first half remaining. Alverston. Again, Whiteside being pursued by Donachie, and again, as we've seen before, a rough and tumble going on, and a free kick again for Luton Town.
Do you think they're roommates when they go on the trip to Northern Ireland, Brian?
Up till today, maybe. Also again today about the word about the referee, and we saw in that Spurs-Forest game that Alan Robinson does allow it to the advantage to be played so often. And here's Robson, and a goal! Well, it fell beautifully there for the England captain, Brian Robson.
Well, we were saying, Brian, about him getting in there and making runs and getting through and always looking dangerous, and there you are, and he goes. A little deflection there, I thought a little bit unlucky possibly the goalkeeper there. Deflection off the defender, but United won up. There is from another angle again, you can just see, I think it was Donachie there. Am I right in saying that, Brian? Was it Donachie just deflected from...
And 1-0 then to Manchester United, 36 minutes of the first half gone. And the score of Brian Robson. Muir. So free kick to Manchester United. Take it. Walsh. And Albon. Thomas. And that's free keeping it out for a Luton throw. Kick. Steen curling one in towards Elliott on the far side, and his header is over the top.
He certainly got up well at the back post there, and Kevin Warren was talking to Stapleton after it. He thought he might have been marking him, but the big fella certainly got there and beat the two of them to it.
The boy they signed from Charlton Athletic, Paul Elliott. Mira. Whiteside this time, and that's two.
It was a lovely header, a terrific header. Comes in, beats Donachie. Donachie mistimed it. The goalkeeper's caught no man's land, and it loops over the top. But you know, they're complaining, Brian, because the linesman had his flag up on this side for offside earlier on before that throw-in was taken, and that was what the crowd were getting upset about. But United took it, knocked it in, and then was Whiteside with a looping header.
2-0 it is, with 5 minutes to go to half-time. 2 quick breaks for United. First by Robson, and now by the number 10, Norman Whiteside. It's an old saying, you play to the whistle, though, Ian.
Well, the problem was that the referee had his back to the linesman on this side, Brian didn't notice it.
Muren. Elliott. And now Muren. Duxbury had committed himself. Here's Mitchell Thomas. And Hogg will get it back to Gary then. Outside, Muren.
That's the ironic cheers from the Luton fans, because the referee that time turned, had a look at the linesman, flag was up, and that's what happened before, Brian, and he didn't do that. He didn't look along the line, and there was a Manchester player had been in exactly that position, had been offside and then ran on an onside position.
Free kick to Luton. Stevens with it. Aylott's header. Oh, lovely skill by Walsh. The cross wasn't nearly good enough, and United will get it away again with Alderston. Donachie. In for Thomas. Today would put Manchester United back in 3rd place in the table. Muren. And Duxbury. And Stevens away, only as far as Moses. In once more, Seeley down. Certainly Ron Atkinson will be hoping that United's generosity doesn't extend to giving away a 2-goal lead here. Challenge by Donachie was said to be a fair one. I think Brian Robson would agree, but now Hill and Alderston getting in quickly. They haven't made many mistakes in defence, Manchester United in.
No, pretty steady, and young Hogg, the young number 6 for United, playing well steady, you know, and nice to see that from a young Scots boy.
Another half-time whistle. Nice to see that if you're a Manchester United fan. 2 goals up. Brian Robson the first one, and Norman Whiteside the second. Robson getting in, which gave United the lead with 36 minutes gone. And then the second goal coming with Norman Whiteside. It's Frank Stapleton going in, the one striker who hasn't got amongst the goals as yet. But United in a fairly strong position then, leading by 2 goals to 0. Let's get the views after the break from Graham Souness, from Jimmy Greaves and Jim Rosenthal. That's after the break.
And welcome back to Kenilworth Road. Luton 0, Manchester United 2 at half-time. Robson and Whiteside, the scorers for United. Let's get the view of our two experts. First of all, the man who hasn't said too much this afternoon, Jimmy Greaves.
Haven't said a thing, James, have I?
You're off and running now.
It's a good game. It's a very enjoyable game, fast, open stuff. I think United, on balance, deserve their lead. Luton, well, they're the sort of side that can knock one in at any time, Jim, and I'm looking forward to the second half. Frankly, I still think that there's a lot in this game.
Graham Souness?
Yeah, I think Manchester United deserve to be in front. I don't know about 2 goals. I think the second goal, Luton are going to be talking about in the dressing room right now. The linesman had his flag up for a long time, Jim. He didn't. The referee didn't look at him at all. Didn't consult him afterwards either, and I think he was still had his flag up.
Well, I know Les Seeley apparently was very unhappy, the Luton keeper, as they went in at half-time. But let's just have a look at the goals. And you really, Graham, you tell us about the first one, because as a midfield player, I think you probably appreciate what Brian Robson was doing.
See, Robbo's sacrificing himself in the build-up. He's just he's concentrating on getting into these positions. And at the moment, there's no one better than him. I mean, his pace here to get away from this man. I mean, he gets a bit of luck, but he was unfortunate earlier with a shot. But it's his pace that's got him there.
The thing is, before the game, we was down in the dressing room, and Ron Atkinson's intention was to play him in the hole, Graham.
See, I think he's been sacrificed in the build-up.
Right.
I think Butch and Arnold Muir, I think they're the ones who are doing the build-up. And he's just he's concentrating on getting into these forward positions.
OK, we'll have a look at the second goal now, and a fairly controversial one. And from where we're sitting up here, right behind where Whiteside headed it in, isn't it, Jimmy?
Yes, indeed. It was at this time, actually, that the linesman had his flag up. We can't see it, but as you can see, it's a great ball floated across by Murin. It's got to be question marks against the defender and the keeper there, really, but it was left to Norman Whiteside to knock it in. But as I say, the linesman had his flag up, Graham was right, for a long time down here.
Well, Luton have they've been well in it, haven't they? And they've created 1 or 2 good chances. Yeah. Particularly, Brian Steen had a good effort, didn't he? Which Gary Bailey made a good save from it. This, Graham, was very well worked.
Yeah, I think the goalkeeper got it just right here. I think he was just the right distance off his line. You'll see it as it comes over. He's in a great position to make the save. But the header was it was clever, wasn't it? It was cute. I think he meant it, and the goalkeeper's just in the right position to make a good save.
Good. Briefly from the two of you, what do you feel about the second half, Graham?
I think, as Jimmy said, I think Luton are a team that could come out and score a goal, no problems. It always looked like conceding them. I think they made problems for themselves at the back. I think the big left back is reluctant to just kick it long when it's been on, and the pitch is tacky. He wants to run with it, and he'll get himself in problems if he wants to do it this half, because I think the pitch is worse down that end.
And you feel Luton still winning it?
I'm hoping that there'll be more goals in this game, Jim. I think there will be. Good.
There we are then. That's the half-time view from Kenilworth Road. We're going to be right back with the whole of the second half, and be sure to join us for that. Bye-bye for now.
And welcome back to Kenilworth Road in Luton. The half-time score, Luton Town 0, Manchester United 2. In fact, Luton have lost their last 3 home league games to Arsenal, Nottingham Forest and to West Ham. They've had only 1 home win since October. And Ian St John, I suppose they now realise they've got to go hell for leather at Manchester United, and that might well expose them to a few risks at the back.
Well, that's always the problem when you're chasing a game, Brian, but you know, we're looking for really Luton putting a little bit more pressure on Manchester United at this stage.
I think Ron Atkinson is down on the track side with Martin Tyler.
What were you saying to your players at half-time?
Just keep attacking.
You've lost 1 or 2 leads before this season. Is that a little bit of a worry in your mind?
Oh, we're going to try and attack.
Well, the message is brief and curt from Ron. It's a warning for Luton Town. If that's the sort of mood he's been in the dressing room at half-time, we can expect to see those red shirts swarming forward. So we're going to see them attack. Manchester United then leading 2-0. Attacking the goal to our left. Moses and Donaghy. Donaghy again to Ricky Hill. So badly in need, Luton, for an early encouragement in this second half. Stevens come out nicely for Manchester United by Graham Hogg. Robson. Bunn. Now Walsh. Little touch by Aylott, but really didn't give Hill the chance he wanted. But here's Kirk Stevens. Flick through again for Steen. Now can Walsh's speed get there first? And he very nearly got it back again for Steen. Instead of that, it's a corner for Luton Town. And a lively opening minute for them. With Paul Elliott coming forward. And Aylott, another 6-footer in that Manchester United penalty area. It's Walsh who takes the corner. Corner for Donachie. Now for Horton. No bad drive, but off the target and a goal kick.
If Ron Atkinson is right in saying that United are going to attack Brian, let's hope it's going to be quite a second half, because I think Luton, as we were saying there, they've got to attack 2-0 down, so we could be in for a nice little 45 minutes.
Donachie beating Whiteside that time in the air. Holt getting in before Walsh. Wilkins. Duxbury. Robson. Moses. Sent sprawling to the ground a moment ago, Moses. I think a collision with Bunn. Played back again for Robson. And scooped high and wide. Annoyed with himself for that. So a goal kick.
Caught in two minds, I think, there, Brian Robson. He didn't know whether to smack it or chip it or side foot it, and I think at the end of the day he did neither and just scooped at it, as you said.
There's Seeley with a kick for Luton. Bunn with a header. There's a strange piece of play there by Duxbury. Ball out amongst the terraced houses at the back of the ground. Veritable little Coronation Street in Bedfordshire there. Now Wilkins. It's a nice ball there for Stapleton. Corner. Hogg's gone forward for this. Right side, Stapleton in there, and Kevin Moore and up from the back as well. So the big guns have moved into that Luton penalty area. As Wilkins takes the corner for United. The fists of Seeley, but under unfair pressure, and even though Whiteside turned the ball back, it's a free kick.
Not the tallest of goalkeepers, Les Seeley, Brian, and if you remember when we saw him a few weeks ago against Arsenal, he had a rather uncomfortable afternoon, and the fans were getting on to him a bit. I think he finds that difficult to come out among players and punch the ball, you know, or even catch it, because of his lack of height.
Hill. I agree with you about his height. He doesn't look the biggest of lads, and yet the record books give him as a 6'1" figure.
Well, he certainly doesn't look it when he's out there, Brian.
In the meantime, Arnold Muir to Brian Robson. Duxbury to Moses. And Duxbury again. Finding Robson and Duxbury. And in the end, Luton get in and back it to put it back to Les Seeley. And here comes Ricky Hill. Aylott. Hill. A chip on for Aylott. Okay. That was more like it with Luton coming forward.
Well, it was certainly split open there. The centre halves have got spread. And that was a good little ball. It's just a pity it hit him in the back to take the pace off it first of all, Brian, but there you are, he was only a yard wide.
Trevor Aylott, number 10. Too high for Kirk Stevens. Stapleton getting it back to Muren. A challenge there by Wilkins. And Hill was a little on the fierce side. Thomas. One. Throw to Manchester United. Walsh. To Thomas. Not beginning to control that as he might have done, and Horton wanting a little too much time, but his tenacity saw him through. And back to Bailey. He's been such a great influence on this Luton side as Brian Horton. Just as he was at Port Vale and down at Brighton as well. Seven minutes of the second half gone. Stevens just out of play. Once again, it's Alverston with the throw. Strong challenge again by Donaghy. Stapleton. Alverston once more. And Muren again. It'll come for Duxbury. And a goal kick. Meanwhile, Manchester United are warming up their substitute, Arthur Graham. Well, Ron Atkinson did say attack was the word, and Arthur is a wingman who does love to attack and attacks effectively too. Just can't get going at the moment, Luton.
Well, Kirk Stevens will number 2 for Luton, Brian, today. He's having one of those days where nothing seems to be going right for him at all. You know, his distribution has been poor, his control has been poor, and he's just having generally a poor game.
Again, those two Irishmen, Donaghy and Whiteside, continuing their little battle. Number 10, Norman Whiteside, again going to where he's going to be marked by Mal Donaghy. The result of the last clash is a free kick to Manchester United. Wilkins and Muren over it. The left foot of Arnold Muren floated in there once more, and Moran was there and is cursing himself because he feels, as indeed it was, a real chance.
Well, I think he's going to be very disappointed not scoring there, Brian. He was only about, what, 5 yards out when he made contact. There you are. I mean, he's, what, edge of the 6-yard box, and he holds his head in his hands.
Now Walsh. Thomas. Well, and that fell for Whiteside, but I think Horton will be there, tidying up once again for Luton. Alverston's header. Stapleton Whiteside back for Stapleton again. Muren's coming up fast from behind. And Stapleton hitting it straight at Seeley, although on that difficult surface in that 6-yard area, it could have been an awkward bounce. Walsh. We've not really seen an awful lot of Paul Walsh. I suppose the service he's had hasn't been quite what he would want.
But the thing about Walsh, Brian, in the games I've watched in the past couple of years, he's either brilliant, you know, and he has been exceptionally brilliant in games, or other times he is like today, where he just fades out the game. You know, he goes through the game and you say, well, when are we going to see a sparkle from Paul Walsh? And I think he's just having one of those days this afternoon.
Still only 21, of course. Horton. Elliott with the header. Now Bunn with a shot. What a save. Well, you could go a long time this season before you see a better save than that. Because Bunn caught it perfectly. And the Luton crowd were already shouting goal when Bailey was there to tip it up and over. So a corner then for Luton. Curled in and Moran getting it away. Headed wide that time by Horton, aiming towards Donachie. Stevens is in there, but again United were coming out as a force. And look who's up amongst the front men, Ray Wilkins. And is he injured? It would appear that he is. And some quick and hurried signs to the trainer, get on quickly. It was a good old break there by Ray Wilkins, isn't it, as well?
He made up a lot of ground, Brian, yeah. I mean, the break was definitely one for United. You know, they caught Luton all up the field. Good break here, and I think he just got caught there. Thomas sliding in there, may just have caught him down the shin as both of them slid for the ball. I mean, it was a pure accident. But it's amazing how the game goes, isn't it? You know, that was a fantastic save there by Gary Bailey, and had that gone in 2-1, the game would be really bubbling. Luton badly need a goal at this stage.
And all credit to Bailey, really, because it's not as though he's had an awful lot to do in this game.
No, he hasn't, Brian. He's made a couple of saves, and I mean, he's a goalkeeper who I think has still to, you know, fulfill his potential as well, because some games he plays, he's really exceptional. He dives around, he holds the ball, he's really brilliant. And other days he comes out, especially with high balls, comes out and drops them.
Well, in the meantime, the good news for United fans is that Ray Wilkins, well, there he is, back in action again. Alveston. Oh, the deflection off Walsh almost put it into the path of Whiteside, but again, his Irish shadow was there, Mal Donaghy. And it'll be another corner for Manchester United. Muren again, which is it's going to be an outswinger. And a very deep one as well. It was Moran up there and Stapleton in there. Ricky Hill getting it away to Steen. Moses. Robson. Thomas. Paul Elliott getting it away. And a Robson shot down at the post. Rossini. Thomas. Donaghy. Horton. And caught there by Robson. And forced into an error to the extent that it now comes for Remy Moses. Wilkins moving quite freely now. And Frank Stapleton, which put the corner flag more in danger than the goal. It's hard to see what Luton can do at the moment. Just can't get their game together, Ian.
No, they've just got to try pegging away, Brian. You know, had that one gone in before, obviously that would have been the spur they needed, but they've got to get one and get it quickly, otherwise United will just bottle this game up.
So nearly a quarter of an hour of the second half gone, and the score still Luton Town 0, Manchester United 2. With the goals by Brian Robson and Norman Whiteside. Stevens, Hill. Through for Bunn. Instead of that, it's Hogg getting it to Duxbury. Now for Robson. Duxbury. Wilkins. Wilkins. Thomas. Now Staple. Inside for Robson. Luton's throw. And again. And Wilkins finding Alston. Hill. Stevens running into trouble. Moses was on him so quickly. And now Muren trying to get a 1-2 going with Staple, and it didn't come off. And Stevens this time finding Bunn, who then gives it quite lamely to Robson, and United have possession again as Wilkins finds Whiteside. Strong challenge by Stevens. And the whistle have gone for the foul by Whiteside. A free kick for Luton. We've had a trip this week to the Middle East, to Oman, where they played 2 games and won them both. A long and difficult flight back, I gather, as well. And whether that's taken anything out of them, I don't know, but they've certainly got to find something in the 25 minutes or so, 27 minutes that remain. 2-0 down, and Robson in possession for Manchester United. Another driving shot just wide of the goal.
Well, I'm afraid Luton are all over the place now, Brian. You know, the positional play of the defenders, the full-backs are getting into strange positions, the centre-backs have been pulled all over. I mean, really looking very ragged. I think David Pleat must be thinking now about getting Antich on the field. The crowd are getting onto the big lad Bunn, you know, who's not that big a favourite here, and I think they want him to come off.
Hill in towards Steen, and Bunn was in there too. It's tough on Frank Bunn getting onto him. I mean, it was his tremendous shot, beautifully taken, that Bailey saved. He could a moment ago have been a hero. Donachie now for Luton. And United have pulled a lot of people back. Stevens in for Steen, trying to get Walsh in. Wilkins dispossessed by Aylott. Walsh again. In turn dispossessed superbly by Robson. Dispossessed him and flicked out a pass for Norman's Whiteside, all in a matter of a second. Elliott. Walsh, a little touch, it won't carry to Hill. Muren to Whiteside. Stevens, and now Steen. Aylott's gone right. And a good shot on the turn, or at least it looked as though it might be, by Bunn. Steen's trying to battle his way through, and in the end had his shot charged down by Hogg. Stevens trying to get in there as well, and succeeds, beating Muren. And the cross of Craig there for Paul Walsh, but Moran just nicking it away. Thomas now trying to get it back in for Luton. And again, Moran is there. Helped this time by Wilkins. And now Moses. Swift challenge by Elliott. A throw. Manchester United with Radiantic. The Luton Town sub warms up. The Yugoslav who plays in the midfield. Well, Donachie claimed he was fouled. He was on the ground for a moment, saw the ball coming his way and was up in a flash. I think it's a free kick, though, to Luton. Forward again. Aylott. Now one. Didn't really get it away. Wilkins. Ooh. It's come for Walsh. And now for Donachie. And curled in off Ray Wilkins, who's really in the wars at the moment. Down he goes again. It's a corner for Luton Town. Walsh will take it. Hill. Walsh keep this in. You can, good control. And a corner given. It's time to be taken by Steen. As the Luton fans get behind their team again. Steen with Luton's corner. And now it's a throw. Picking out Hall. And the flag is up for an offside against Paul Elliott. So, Moses. Duxbury. Robson to Moses. And now Whiteside, Staple in the middle, Muren's coming up from the back. Ooh, what a tussle they're having.
It's the best of 3 falls with the 2 Irishmen.
And a free kick for Manchester United, which Ray Wilkins will take. A little floater. And it was Paul Elliott who put it behind, I think, for the corner.
You see there again, Brian, the goalkeeper's standing on the goal line and they're heading the ball from, what, a yard from the line. I feel he's got to come in these situations, to come with some sort of authority and make his presence felt in there.
Well, it's another corner which Ray Wilkins will take. Pushed Hogg in there as well. And Seeley didn't really get to that one. Robson. And he didn't get it back to Hogg either. And now here's Aylott on the ball for Luton. Well, he rode his luck well and he's found Frank Buck. Stevens. And Duxbury with no problems at all finding Remy Moses. 3 or 4 diving in at that one. It was Wilkins who gets it to Stapleton. Duxbury. And now Hall. Radiantic, meantime, is stripping off, ready to come on for Luton as they come forward and get a free kick for the foul by Hogg on Aylott. Get up, says Brian Horton. We need every able-bodied man we can get. We're 2 goals down, and there's 20 minutes remaining. And it's a free kick for Luton. Horton with the kick. Towards Aylott, got the header down. Elliott! My word, he had a chance there. Well, if you're not going to take chances like that, you don't really deserve to get back into the game.
I think it was Kevin Moore that got the foot in, you know, Brian. It was a terrific chance here. The big fella took just too long, but Kevin Moore with the tackle.
So a corner for Luton, which Steen will take. Holding under that crossbar, and Elliott was nearly in there again. Donachie this time kept it in play. Can Horton get there for Luton? He can. Steen finding Walsh. Straight at Bailey. Struck well.
That was better play, wasn't it, by Luton? A little bit of a sparkle there. Walsh just gave himself a little yard on the edge of the box, whacked in the shot, but straight at Bailey.
Minutes gone then. Luton 0, Manchester United 2 in the second half of this Cannon First Division game. Stavelin just keeping it in. Moses. Beaten by Bunn. Hill. Crowd warned him of the approach of Robson, but it was to no avail. Walsh, good control. Alderson's after him. Now Steen. Played well. Donachie. And the substitution will shortly be made.
I think Mitchell's been limping badly there the last 5 minutes, Brian.
Mitchell Thomas, the fullback, comes off, and Radianchi to come on. You can see what they do, unless Antic just fills in at left back. Duxbury. In goes Elliott. Collides with Antic straight away. So 16, 17 minutes to go. And Radiantic with the corner for Luton Town. Swinging it under that Manchester United crossbar. Bailey flapping it away, but Murin was there on hand to help him. Stevens. Donachie. Hill. Playing it forward towards Aylott. Got it down for Steen. Bit of combination this for Luton. There's Walsh. Nice little chip in there, forcing the corner off Moran.
United have been a bit uncomfortable the last couple of corners, Brian. That's two that Gary Bailey's come for rather, and never really got with any conviction.
So here's Antic again. Try and add more discomfort for United, although they lead, of course, by 2-0. Antic with the corner. Not a very good one. Duxbury, not easy to get it away. Foul throw. There seems to be a certain amount of confusion here as to whether it's a free kick or a throw. In fact, it's a throw. Made on by Whiteside to Robson. Now, what about that for a ball? To Stapleton. He's got Moses outside him. And Luton fully stretched. Off the post. And Luton were lucky not to go 3 down. As it is, they can now set things up themselves with Steen.
problem is, Brian, that they've not filled that left-back gap at all, you know, and it was a great chance here for Remy Moses. Very unlucky, really, to hit the post.
Walsh. And a free kick, it is. In a moment, Ian, let me ask you about the David Pleat decision not to play a left-back. Is it a gamble, maybe, just to play 3 at the back and push everything forward and take a risk of going 3 down or 4 down? Let's just watch this free kick first. Horton with it. They get it away. Now Elliott trying to blast it back in. A goal kick.
Well, to answer your question, Brian, yes, it's a gamble, obviously, because as we saw there, you know, they had an extra Man United in the attack down the right-hand side there, and as we saw, Moses there smacked the post. So really, you know, they're living a bit dangerously, but 2 down, they've got to push forward, they've got to do something, and it's a positive move, at least, by Luton Town.
It looks as though they put Frank Bunn up amongst the front men, almost as though they're playing 4 up at the moment.
That's exactly what they've done, yeah.
Elliott jumping well. So we might see another goal or 2 yet, either through the limitations of Luton at the back or their strength that's now been put up front for them. But it's Duxbury at the moment on the ball. But can Walsh get there now for Luton? No, but it's their throw. Frank Bunn now playing up amongst the front men with Aylott and Steen and Walsh. Aylott. And another throw. Donaghy. Challenged, but he's still got the ball to Stevens. In turn, he finds Brian Steen. Now that's an interesting ball, but Bailey is there before Aylott. Stapleton. 12 minutes to go now, and Manchester United leading by 2-0 as Moses takes it off on the far side if he can keep it in. No, it's a Luton throw.
See, the ball falls away down, the ground falls away rather in that corner, Brian. There's a terrible slope away down at that far corner flag there, and anything played just races away, you know, and goes out for throw-ins. Ray Wilkins, who passed that ball, I think he's had a good game, Ray. You know, he's distributed the ball very well in midfield for United.
Now seems to be moving quite freely after his injury. Antich battling away, but the odds were against him as Moses finds Robson and a free kick for offside. Whiteside. Duxbury and Robson. And that's 3. That is a problem for Robson as well.
Well, it could be serious. It could be serious because he certainly clashed with the goalkeeper as he flicked it over him. I mean, a goal looked always on, Brian. As soon as the ball was played forward, I was sitting up here, I thought there's going to be a goal because Robson raced away there, got in front of the defender, and once he gets there, the goalkeeper committed himself, flicked it over him, and that's the collision there. It's injured him. But I mean, a super goal again from Robson.
Well, now we see the collision maybe a little better from this angle.
There's a flick. Oh, and it was actually a kick. I think it was a kick by the goalkeeper, caught him somewhere up on the thigh.
And they're signalling while we're watching that replay again that they want the substitute on, I think.
Well, there's no point in risking anything at this stage. 10 minutes to go.
What's going on?
Well, he's a brave boy, but maybe they'll wait until the substitute gets his gear off.
So 2 goals for Brian Robson and 1 for Norman Whiteside, making it 3 for Manchester United with about 10 minutes remaining. It's a question, I think, of how much longer he stays on. But he's certainly done his job for his team today. Now Elliott. Stevens. Walsh. Again challenged, shadowed and then challenged by Graham Hogg. Whiteside, Stapleton. Robson. Ooh, a nice little touch on there for Moses. Now Muren. Moses again. And Whiteside getting it back. The mistake by Donachie. And Stapleton! That makes it 4.
All the damage, Brian, has been done on that right-hand side there, you know, where there's no left-back playing, and United have been getting so much of the ball there and doing whatever they like with it. But a nice turn by Whiteside there, and the ball played across. Smack. Well, United are full value for the 4 goals, aren't they? I think they've been the best side right throughout the game, and the longer it's gone on, the more dominant they've become.
Robson has gone off now. And the substitute, Arthur Graham, is on. Moses, Wilkins. Moses challenged there by Antic. Good word from the referee and a free kick to Manchester United. Well, we spoke about the gamble that David Fleet had taken. Means they've lost Mitchell Thomas, the left back, to play with just 3 at the back. And now he's reverted to 4 at the back. With Brian Horton now filling in the left-back position, but maybe it's too late. Moses with a long cross and a goal.
Well, I've seen some comebacks in football, Brian, but I wouldn't think Luton can get back being 4 goals down this afternoon. I think it's all over for them. That was a gamble by David Fleet, but it's a gamble that didn't pay off, and United capitalised on it.
So the travelling United fans have something to be happy about. Long ball by Ricky Hill. Aylott after it, tapped back well by Dutchman. Saw Ron Atkinson at half-time, tight-lipped Ron, saying very tersely they're going to attack, and he's been as good as his word. Just maybe a little more relaxed now, possibly. But they're never satisfied. 4-0 up with about 7 minutes to go, and still something to complain about. Now Hook for Luton. Challenging hard, but too hard. And a free kick already taken. Antic for Luton Town. Walsh. Into the left foot and behind the goal for the goalkeeper. Though you may be disappointed with the Luton performance here, and as you say, it's been a notable performance by Manchester United. They've dominated the game right from the word go, and their fans have clearly had plenty to cheer right from the first whistle.
Oh yeah, much the strongest side on the day, Brian. You know, look to be very solid in midfield. I think that the 4 players in midfield stitched the game up for them, you know, because Luton couldn't really get the service up to the front players. They were always been outnumbered in the middle of the park.
I think this is something they feared all week and hoped that the return of Ricky Hill might make the difference, but in point of fact it quite hasn't.
Well, Hill's played reasonably well, hasn't he? He's played in flashes, and I think that's the problem. They've all played in little flashes, but they haven't played with any real consistency right throughout the game, and the Manchester United players have done that.
Yes, they've had the authority, and Ray Wilkins has played as well as anybody His pass this time to Arthur Augustin. Graham, the substitute on for Brian Robson. Muren. Not really getting it away. In goes Wilkins again. Touched by Muren. And Stapleton again. And another one, this time by Whiteside. And that makes it 5.
Well, you can set up camp in that area, Brian, in that left-back area that Luton are defending, and that's where all the damage has been coming from. You'll see it again here when we get the replay. That's the area, then the ball in there, in behind him. Frank's got all of them in the world. Tried a shot at goal as it happened, but he won't be complaining. So you'll see it as a pass later when we talk to the dressing room, I suppose. But there was Whiteside getting his second.
So there's the scoreline, and a remarkable one at that. Luton Town 0, Manchester United 5. And it's the second goal for Whiteside, 2 for Brian Robson. And 1 for Frank Stapleton. And attack has really been the keynote of Manchester United in this second half. Back to sea. And it's a fairly demoralised Luton Town side now. Free kick again to Manchester United. Graham. Stapleton. And a goal kick. Another long noise coming up now from the Luton fans.
The only noise that's coming up now, Brian, are seats banging as spectators get up and make their way to the exits. They'll be very disappointed, obviously, with the team's performance this afternoon. A 5-0 drubbing at home is terrible for any home side. But all credit to United. I think, as we said earlier, thoroughly deserved it this afternoon. I feel a little bit sorry for Luton because they're a team who always like to play football. David Pleat there is a man who looks for the best in football, and when they get a drubbing like this, you've got to feel sorry for them. But let's hope they bounce back next week.
Well, he's the sort of man who will learn something from every day, David Pleat. And he's probably learned 1 or 2 things today about his team and about United too. It's a free kick again for Manchester United. And foul that time by Whiteside. And Donachie. Stevens. All the way. Time it was Elliott's header to Ricky Hill. They're really just going through the motions now, Luton. And now Horton. Certainly puts Manchester United back into 3rd place in the 1st division behind Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, and ahead of West Ham. And they won't do their goal difference any harm at all. Donachie. Antich. Even that didn't work for them, and it was Stapleton, the attacker, who was back defending. Moses, cut out by Horton. Foul there by Stapleton, and a free kick. I imagine Luton would have preferred to have kept going with that one. It's with Antich. Walsh. Stumbled, but there's no free kick. And we're now in time added on for injuries. There'll be a little bit of that. There was an injury to Ray Wilkins, of course, and 1 to Brian Robson. But the result is never in doubt, and I suppose never has been in doubt since Gary Bailey's excellent save from Frank Bunn early in the second half that might have brought it back to 2-1. Thought United's performance this afternoon is a renewed warning to all those around them, the Liverpools and Nottingham Forests, West Ham and so on, that there's still quite a potent force looking at the championship race from Old Trafford. It's their biggest win of the season, and they're still looking for number 6. And there's Whiteside onto his hat-trick, maybe, no, off the crossbar. As Horton gets it away to Bunn. And United aren't done yet. Buren. Orbiston. Wilkins. It looked as though Norman Whiteside might be on for a hat-trick here, but the crossbar said no. Meantime, there's a free kick for Manchester United, and we've played about 2 minutes of injury time now. A foul by Maldonaghy on guess who? Norman Whiteside, as Muren takes the free kick. And a goal kick. Whistle, a comprehensive victory for Manchester United.